Marco, is it tough to, when you come off a great win, to turn the page to what might be even a bigger game?
Well, yeah, you got to make sure that you're prepared for the next game. I think we've had that a couple times this year where we had a couple big games and had to play a really good opponent the next week. And so it's just a matter of, moving on to the next game and not resting on that last game.
What are your memories of 3 years ago, last time you guys were in Indianapolis?
I remember that game a lot because I actually ended up playing in that one. So one thing I remember is running out on that field. Coach Warner told me don't mess up as I was running on the field. I really remembered that one, the rest of that drive. But, it was a great experience for me as a freshman, from the Midwest, getting to play in the Big Ten Championship. That was a great experience.
Have you ever played in a game that went as smoothly as that one did for you guys?
We've had a couple games like that, but that was not that type of game, not that magnitude of a game, no.
Hey, Jamarco, it seemed just from watching that the Michigan game was extra physical. You watched the number of guys that went down and everything. How much more of an emphasis has recovery been this week? How much more could you possibly have emphasized it? Because I imagine it was a point of importance before.
You want to get healthy, but at the same time, you still got to get those reps in throughout the week to make sure you're prepared for the next opponent. And so I think our coaches do a really good job of balancing that out. They've done this for a long time, so I trust their plan.
How's JT been looking?
He's going to be all right. We'll be ready when Saturday comes.
What was your little ailment? Was it just a brace getting messed up?
I got rolled up on again.
Yeah.
It's part of the game, part of playing O-line.
How much, when do you, I guess in your mind, when do you tell yourself, I can go back in there? What is it you have to feel?
I saw we had got those 2 false starts, and it was like 3rd and 17. Yeah, and I was just like, I got to get back in there for this play. I've seen this before. Let me get back in there.
So you're the reason?
Yeah, I just ran back in there. They didn't even tell me I could go back in.
No, you're the reason for the comeback.
Oh, no.
They didn't tell you? You just went in?
Yeah, I just ran back out there. Well, yeah, they knew I was going back out there. Yeah. But, yeah, I was like, I got to get back out there. Yeah.
Jamarco, when I say Wisconsin, what's the, obviously you played against them, like you said, but what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Wisconsin? Just
physicality. They want to stop the run and they want to run the ball. And that's how they've always been since I was a kid, So, they have a big line on offense and they want to control the line of scrimmage. That's the name of their game. So that's what their whole thing is. They want to control the O-line and they want to control the D-line, and that's what they try to do.
And they shoot guys too. They shoot guys. You know what I mean? They
give you
continual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Linebackers.
That's a flex.
They send
that would be unnecessary,
They send guys a lot. Let's put it that way. But they do come at you, right?
Yeah, they do. They bring a lot of different stuff to the table. You got to prepare for a lot when you're playing against it. It's a really good scheme. We had some trouble with it last year as well when we were up there. Some of the different things they were doing. So we just got to get prepared, and our coach got a good game plan for us, and we just got to go out there and try to execute as best we can.
Yeah, this is a Badger defense that leads the conference in sacks. Is that a different mentality going into a game like this when you know that they'll be coming at you?
Oh, yeah. I feel like every week, we got to, as O-line, we got to be ready because the last few games we've been playing against really good D-line. Really in the Big Ten, it's hard not to play against a good D-line. And so, every week you got to come prepared for that.
A lot of these guys have been coming from the second level. A lot of these are linebackers. I think the top 5 in Wisconsin are, in terms of tackle for loss, have been linebackers. Does that provide a different look for the offensive line?
Not really. We played against a couple odd teams this year before. At the beginning of the season, we had played against all odd teams. And so looking back on some of that film will help us. We've played them a couple of times since I've been here. So looking back on that film will help as well as some of the games that they played against other spread teams. So, I wouldn't say it's going to be too different, but they do bring some different stuff to the table as far as their blitzes and their personnel and things like that.
2014 game, it almost seems surreal.
Oh, yeah.
What was it like on the sideline?
I was a freshman, so I'm just along the ride, and just to see what those guys was out there and able to accomplish, it was pretty remarkable to watch.
And now you're in a similar situation, not identical, but a similar one. I don't think anyone thinks you're going to do what they did. But how important is this game to not, obviously the first thing is to win, but you have another goal too.
We're focused on winning this Big Ten championship. That's all we're focused on right now.
Jamarco, have you guys seen many players like their number 99 defensive tackle, that big kind of squatty guy in the middle of the line?
Oh yeah, he's a big dude. You know, he's gonna be. You know, he's one of the things we've been emphasizing in practice this week. But I have full confidence in us as a unit and as a team. So, but yeah, he's definitely one of the key players that we've been looking at on their defense.
What's different when you're going against a guy like that in terms like compared to say a guy like Draymond, who's like a very athletic interior defensive lineman? This guy is just kind of like a giant, boulder in the middle there.
I mean, he's a great nose tackle for their defense. You know, he does the job he's supposed to do. I think it's kind of hard to compare Draymond to a nose tackle, I would say, but. He just takes up a lot of space. You know, he two gaps and he's a load to handle, so you gotta send guys at him. Do different things.
When did you know J.K. Dobbins was up to the test of being a freshman starter running back in the Big Ten?
Well, he did.
Maybe a specific day, but what do you remember?
He showed you? I remember he showed it all throughout spring ball, but I remember it was one play during camp. We was working on a drill coming out, so we was on our own 1 yard line against the one defense. And he busted up 99-yard touchdown run, and that's when I was like, oh, this is going to be for real. He's for real.
Yeah, how much do you think it's, obviously having Mike come back, Mike was, but now you guys have been able to kind of keep fresh guys in there. Can you tell these guys are kind of fresh, even late in games, that they're running with fresh? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's just a great luxury to have, with Mike finally healthy now, and he's showing off that speed that he's picked up on this offseason, and with JK, it's just a nice 1-2 punch to have. I think they're the best two running back combinations in the country, and so with them just feeding off each other, one guy gets a big run, usually the other one tries to get one too, and it's just great to see, having those guys back there at any point in time.
With what happened to JT last week, and he may not be 100%, going into this game against Wisconsin, is it even more so important to have a guy, two guys like JK and Mike in the backfield there that you got blocked for?
Yeah, it's just great to have those guys to be able to lean on in any situation, really. We'll see what happens going forward, but I'm definitely glad that we have those two guys on our team.
Hey,
Jamarco, what changes?
Go ahead, Laura.
I asked you about how JT's looked, but Urban said that Dwayne was going to get more reps in practice this week. How's he looked? And he always seemed like a confident kid. Yeah. Now that he's got resume to back that up, even more so.
I think that's just part of it. Just going out there and actually doing it. Everybody knows what he can do, but I think it's just a matter of him going out there and the way he performed. I think that's definitely a confidence booster for him.
Playing off of that, what changes when he comes in the game, replaces JT?
Not too much at all, I would say. He was able to go out there, scramble, make a couple runs, make some nice throws. We ran the same. Our offense didn't really change much at all when he was in there.
Mark, how different does it feel when you're playing one of these neutral sites indoors? It's kind of bizarre based on what you guys play the rest of the
year. Yeah, the Big Ten is kind of rough when you go on the road some of these places. And so it's definitely different, not being at home, but also not necessarily being a true away game. You expect the fans to be pretty much 50-50, which is kind of nice for an away game technically. So, but yeah, it's going to be a fun environment. Their stadium's a great venue to play in. I remember that from my freshman year. So it's going to definitely be a fun experience.
Can you tell? Cool if it was in Chicago one of these years?
Huh?
You think it'd be cool to play that game in Chicago one of these years?
I don't know about the weather this time of year because we don't have any indoor arenas for football. But I think that would be, if they could do it, it definitely would be nice.
Can you tell you're in a professional football facility when you're playing at Lucas Oil?
Oh yeah.
What's different about the atmosphere? What's the difference?
I don't know how to really explain it. It just has a different feel, than like a college stadium, I guess would. Yeah.
Is it because pros play there? Or
that might have something to do with it. I don't really know, but yeah, it's a great venue to play in. It's gonna be a fun place. It gets loud, Been indoors. Their field is really nice. Yeah. Obviously, they host the NFL Combine there, so they keep it up to par.
Hey, one other thing, Marco, y'all come out of Iowa. You just got beat by 31 points. I'm not. The only thing I'm saying is now you've put yourself back in position. How remarkable is it the last 3 weeks? For this team, and obviously what do you think y'all have really gotten right?
I think we just realized we got to take everything one game at a time. We can't get ahead of ourselves, and that's one thing we've been focused on. It's the team that we're playing that week, we have to make sure we're doing our due diligence, preparing for them. Just like no different than this week, than the other 3 weeks. You have to make sure we're preparing for Wisconsin and everything. Everybody's completely focused on that and not thinking about other things outside of this game.
But then let me ask you, because we didn't get to ask you this, but y'all just came out of beating Penn State, and people are one of the greatest games ever played. Some people thought in Ohio Stadium history. Great comeback from 18 down or whatever it was. Was there a letdown as you look back on it? Was there anything missing there at Iowa, or is it just that's the way it went?
I'm just ready to beat Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Just go out there and try to beat Wisconsin.
Have you guys seen anybody that's similar to them schematically?
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the first half of the season, we pretty much played against all odd for our teams, and so that definitely, it was actually kind of weird. I don't know, I think we didn't play a 4-down team until Penn State, I think, or something like that. So, yeah, it was weird coming out the gates. We don't usually see that much odd, but it definitely, I think it's going to help us, you know, going into this game that we played against quite a few teams this season already.
They can help you guys with communication and sort of having a feel for
oh
where
yeah,
things are going to be.
Definitely. You know, we know, like we also played against them last year, and everybody besides Meach was in there last year. So I think we still remember some of the stuff that was happening in that game and things that were going on. We went back and watched that film as well. So I don't think it's going to be too much different. You know, we're pretty much used to blocking both 4-down from our defense in practice all year, and a couple teams we played 4-down, and then odd for all the other teams that ran odd this year against us.
An odd team, though, don't they almost always end up even? Or don't
in 4-down almost, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the trick, right?
A lot of teams do. Wisconsin actually does stay in.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Odd. Yeah. Quite a bit more than 4-down, but yeah, a lot of teams do end up actually going to even with the looks, but it's still, I guess, the base is odd.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, Jamarco.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
No problem.
Appreciate it.